The galaxy has never seen a power equal to the Greater Terran Union. In its long history, it has utilized every wonder and overcome every terror. It has harnessed the power of entire suns, constructed artificial worlds of breathtaking scope, and united the galaxy as much through the might of its armies as through the wisdom of its ideology. Archaeologists on 1,000 worlds have found evidence of fallen empires, old nations long gone that rivaled the Greater Terran Union in majesty, only to crumble into dust. It has been feared that the Union might follow a similar fate, that entropy is inevitable, yet with each new century, the GTU has only burned brighter, casting its eyes to new frontiers and new opportunities. The Greater Terran Union is not a perfect nation. It suffers crime, hate, and weakness of character like any other. But for all its failings, it has always sought out solutions without fear. The Union has never bowed to established norms, traditions, or even public opinion when presented with the means to better itself. Other nations may have fallen, but it is difficult, if not impossible, to imagine the Greater Terran Union ever joining them in the graveyard of empires. And yet, every now and then across its history, a strange report will be submitted to the Ministry of State Security. A discrepancy will be logged into the Strategic Reserve. An automated shipment intended for some far-flung colony will never arrive. Such instances are always investigated, and the causes are always completely ordinary. Bureaucratic mistakes, casual oversight, human error. Yet there are some who claim these acts point to a hidden conspiracy, a web of lies and deceit so unfathomably vast that it stretches across the whole of the entire Union and is as old as the nation itself. One with the potential to destroy the moral core of the Union, leaving it a broken husk ripe for conquest or rampant insurrection. Even the most advanced artificial intelligences, including Lady Grey herself, have found no connection between these cases, no evidence of any deeply rooted treason. This has done little to quiet the growing chorus of voices, however, those who claim that there is a cancer in the shape of a man, twisting the very heart of the nation against itself. And on every world across the Greater Terran Union, a question is still asked in whispered tones. Who is the Mistman? According to legend, the Mistman was once a citizen like any other and a veteran of the First Contact War. Accounts differ in which theater he served, but he was said to have been among a battalion of 600 soldiers that entered a Tyrum terraforming spire in the last days of the fighting. What occurred within the spire, he would not say, but he emerged 9 days later as the battalion's only survivor. To those that knew him, the man that left the spire was not the same as the one who had entered it. He had been changed, haunted. Filled with new and strange ideas about the future of humanity, this man gathered a cadre of followers. He was said to possess a magnetism that invigorated all those in his presence, and even the most steadfast could be brought around to his way of thinking. Suspected of instigating several riots and protests, a bounty was placed on his head. Through his seemingly supernatural ability to escape every trap laid for him, the group's leader became known as the Mistman. However, the moniker may also have been the result of his strange obsession with water. It is said he showered up to 12 times a day and routinely held multi-hour meditation sessions inside a specially retrofitted steam unit. Some stories even claim he constructed a mobile steam shower, a suit of armor that left him perpetually clouded in mist. More than anything, he hated the strict rationing of water and began illegally modifying bathtubs, bypassing water restrictor valves, even designing his own type of showerhead. The Mistman and his followers unleashed a campaign of terror across the Greater Terran Union. During times of great drought, Sponges, still damp, would be mailed to the offices of the Water Crimes Division. Showers would be illegally modified to run past their intended limits. Water balloons left in the mailboxes of unsuspecting citizens. 9 times a man was executed in the center of Victory Square, and 9 times the Mistman's reign of terror was declared over. Yet in each instance, the local authorities would receive a very polite letter, one that included details only the real Mistman could know, and drenched in water. Again, the stories differ as to how the Mistman was eventually defeated. The most common version is that a specialist in the Water Crimes Division, the only person to ever get inside the Mistman's head, tracked him down to his hidden headquarters. A secret water lab located beneath the same Tyrant spire the Mistman had first entered all those years ago. The government of the Greater Terran Union has strenuously denied these events. No unit called the Water Crimes Division has ever existed within any ministry of the GTU, and no reports exist of a serial water waster who spread a wave of terror in the early days of the nation. The Mistman was likely nothing more than a fable, now told to children who leave the sink or shower running. Fear of the Mistman has done more to instill a sense of conservation and environmental responsibility in the children of the Terran nation than any government-sponsored initiative, and it remains a fun and harmless tradition. Those who insist otherwise, that the Mistman still lives and to this day plots the destruction of the Union, are labeled conspiracy theorists and crackpots, ridiculed and ignored. Yet the tale of the Mistman does bear a striking similarity to a largely overlooked incident that occurred when the Greater Terran Union first took to the stars. In 2211, a fringe group hostile to the Union's government began attacking mining concerns across its newly established interstellar territories. It is said the man behind these attacks could disappear into the mists, only to re-emerge elsewhere without warning. Curiously, in at least one instance, he was directly referred to as the Mistman, although it never appears to have gained widespread usage even at the time. Stranger still is the classified report detailing the apparent death of this individual. While said to have disappeared in a flash of light after struck by Terran warships over Alpha Centauri, no wreckage was ever recovered. In reviewing footage of the event hundreds of years later, analysts were stunned to discover that his vessel disappeared in a manner almost identical to the trans-dimensional portals used by the Unbidden. While likely just the result of an internal video glitch or some other abnormality, perhaps this individual, the Mistman, is out there still.
In Dossier, the Templin Institute investigates the legendary figures from alternate worlds. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to join the Templin Institute, consider pledging to our Patreon page. Along with increased security access, you'll be able to vote in polls to determine future topics, get custom wallpaper every week, and receive some other exclusive rewards.